Our first movie tells the story of a friendship behind prison walls that spans more than 20 years. It's called The Shawshank Redemption, and Shawshank is the name of a prison where a banker, played by Tim Robbins, receives a double life sentence for the murder of his wife and her lover.
I'm Andy Dufresne.
Wife-killing banker. Why'd you do it?
I didn't, since you ask.
You can fit right in.
That's Morgan Freeman as the other prisoner there. He's a fixer who can supply almost anything behind bars.
I understand you're a man that knows how to get things.
Yeah, I'm known to locate certain things from time to time.
He can supply anything, that is, except hope. Oddly enough, that's the one thing Robbins seems to have enough of.
You need it so you don't forget.
Forget?
Forget that there are places in the world that aren't made out of stone, that there's something inside that they can't get to, that they can't touch.
One of the underlying themes of the movie is institutionalization, the process by which prisoners become so dependent on prison routine that life in the real world becomes a mirage or a threat.
I guess it comes down to a simple choice, really. Get busy living, or get busy dying.
The Shawshank Redemption was based on a story by Stephen King, but it's not a horror story unless, of course, you define horror as spending life in prison for a crime you claim you didn't commit. It's a very closely observed portrait of these two men, played by Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman, as they do time together and accommodate themselves to the system. But all the time there's a hidden story going on, which we sort of suspect and sort of don't, and which leads to the redemption that's hinted at in the title. This is a wonderfully well-acted film, and it really got me involved.
Well, I think I like this picture even more than you. I think it's one of the year's best films, and the picture that it reminds me of the most, it should be really obvious, is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
No,
this is a picture that this is a prison picture to the extent that that's a hospital picture. They're both the same thing. People caught up in the system, people dealing with mental imprisonment, physical imprisonment, how to get released from both. The look of this picture is magnificent. The span of years is great. The relationship between these two characters, everything works. It's a first directing job by a guy, I think I can pronounce his name, Frank Darabont. And he does a really good job here.
Well, I agree with you. I think it's an interesting film and a very moving film. And the neat thing is, it's very rare that we see a friendship that develops slowly over decades.
I love that.
Until at the end, when we get to the payoff of the film, we understand exactly what has happened. And that ending in a more trivial film might have seemed more like a formula, but in this film, it really seems like an emotional payoff.
You think you've seen, again, the notion that it's a prison picture, that might turn some people off. That isn't what this film is all about. That's just the location. Good writing all the way through.
It's about courage, it's about heart and friendship.
I think it's a wonderful picture.